Seen a video about quick oats. I am changing my transmission oil. There's a drain plug, but the guy at the tranny shop said, don't waste your time, it's not coming off. I don't understand it, but it doesn't come off. So I looked at mine and lo and behold, it's been mangled. I have got the oil pan suspended by one impossible to get to bolt that's hidden behind the shifter linkage, and you can take that off with 2 bolts from on top, but I just took it off with I loosened it with a 13mm closed end, boxed end, and I've got the whole thing pirouetting, dumping its guts all over the ground and my clothes and down my arm. No matter what I do, I'm going to have a mess here. It's just the way it works. So I will put the camera maybe over there. You may end up watching this thing dump its guts all over me. It ain't gonna be pretty, but that's just the way it goes. Wish I had a hoist. At least I've got the luxury of, oh, there it goes. Got the luxury of working in South Carolina, or at least you can work outside in the middle of February. I'm holding the pan up and I'm loosening the last bolt that's totally hidden behind the linkage. I don't know why they couldn't move that linkage over 1/2 inch. And give me some access. There it is. It's loose. And she's going to dump her guts. Let's see. Jiggle jiggle as a heat shield. An exhaust pipe, and the linkage is in the way. It ain't gonna let go. That linkage is in the way. Time for a big pry bar. Yep. Probably a video on YouTube how to do this. This is not the way to do it. That linkage has got to go. Now that I've got oil on all the pipes. Different size bolt. Come on. Yep. Why would they do that? Why put a different size bolt on the linkage? Brown oil is not good oil. That's not coming off. I got the bolt off, but almost like you want to punch a hole in the pan and just seal it with some JB weld. Oh, I'll turn off the camera for a minute, not to bore you to death. I'll go away. Alright, here's the scoop. It's a Torx T something bit. I'm not sure what size, but there's 2 bolts up on top. And they're Torx T25s or 30s. Who thought of that? The same person that thought of putting caliper bolts in the front that are Torx right there. In the back, just a regular old bolt. So I gotta loosen this linkage up so I can swing it out of the way and have this pan dump its guts all over me. Sounds like fun, huh? Let me shed some light on this subject. There we go. Yep. Why did they put Torx? Why not put Torx everywhere? What's the deal with Torx? They actually grip really well if they size it correctly. One bolt, and the oil pan's going to come flying down. I should put one bolt back in there. prevent that from happening. And it'll splash. It'll be as big a splash as Donald Trump. That's a good show on the radio. The guy was discussing his various bankruptcies and the fact that he likes to promote himself and he's the world's best promoter, and if he would have invested his father's hundreds of millions of dollars in the stock market back in 1975 when he got started, he'd have more money than all the Trump towers he'd built and all the golf courses with all the neighbors he's annoyed. He looks like he's successful. I just listened to this great article on one of the NPR shows today. And he's just a big self-promoter. He's gone bankrupt and bankrupt and bankrupt and left people hanging. What did they say? He starts these big jobs, his apartment towers, and he fires the companies doing the work when the work is almost done. Says it's not done properly, then he hires someone else to finish it and pays them only the cost to finish the job. And he's very litigious, which means he likes to take people to court and annoy them, litigate them to death. Because if it costs $10,000 for a lawyer or $100,000 for a lawyer and he saves $1 million, $900,000 saving. Strictly dollars and cents. There she blows. Yeah, I'm not sure what show it was on. Maybe Here and Now or The Takeaway with John Hockenberry. But to give you an idea of who this gentleman is, he's got every kind of crazy idea. I wish Bernie Sanders would have the economic demonstration of how he'd provide health care for everybody. No, it didn't dump its guts. Good show. Not too bad. Not too mucky inside. As soon as I dry the oil off my hands, I'll show you what's cooking here as the sun goes down. This day's work. Reach for the camera. I made a comment yesterday on one of my videos. It didn't go over very well with a couple of people that watch my videos, and I care for their opinion, so I will have to make an apology in a minute as soon as I get up off the ground. Whew. I made some remarks about gays and maybe lesbians and gay bars. Yes, I have been to gay bars, and I don't particularly like to go to any bars for that matter. But I apologize for offending anybody. I was kind of doing it off the cheek. I don't mean to offend anybody. I don't really care who you are or what color you are. As a matter of fact, my experience with people here in hospitable South Carolina has been that the people of African descent have been more polite to me and helpful. They are probably poorer, which might be part of the reason, but I'm not black, but I'd have them as my neighbor in a minute if they behave themselves. As a matter of fact, anybody that's going to be my neighbor has to behave themselves, and hopefully I'll behave myself. So I apologize to anybody I may have offended. Again, I was sort of joking about what George Carlin had said years ago in one of his diatribes. So not too much junk in this pan. Pretty good. Apologies given out, and moving back to this. Now I've got an accumulator to change for the second gear band. Fellow that rebuilt the transmission, Johnson's Auto Transmission in Lugoff, gave me a used Corvette servo, but I left it behind, and now I'm going to be working on the truck, so he gave me another servo, made in India maybe. Corvette servo, so I get a firmer 1-2 shift. This truck's actually got a decent 1-2 shift for a 200,000 mile transmission, but this will improve it slightly. A bit more grip, a bit less slip. Made in somewhere. Alright, back to work. Sun's going down. Tomorrow, Junk Master, Mold Master. Ford Paradise. Time to pull off the servo. I removed the snap ring. It was very easy. Just got to get my hand back here. Not dumping the oil everywhere. With insurance for cars, homes, boats, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. Easier said than done. There's the snap ring. Unlike the Dana 44 axle, this one's easy to remove.
And by Squarespace. Squarespace, providing tools that help people showcase their passions with a customizable landing page, website, or online store.
Come on.
Learn more at squarespace.com.
And with that, we are out of here. Down 40 points, dead about 0.25%. The NASDAQ down 46 points, 1%. The S&P 500 down 9 points, 0.4%. All in all, though, fairly good. John Buckley, Rick Deputy, Eve Epstein, Nancy Fargali, George Judson, Dave Shaw, and Betsy Streisand are the Marketplace editing staff. Our managing editor is Mark Miller. I'm Kai Rizzo.
I was just listening to a story on Marketplace, and they were talking about American Apparel in Los Angeles. Started by Sub Tranny, Montreal boy, from Lenoir Street in St. Henri. I know where that is. The old RCA TV building.
South Carolina Public Radio program.
Oh, come on.
If you appreciate having All Things Considered, Morning Edition, and other programs on the air, then please make sure that you're one of the people who helps to fund them. And when you contribute, you'll be shortening the spring fundraising campaign. We can even cancel stuff, so don't wait. Give online now at southcarolinapublicradio.org or by phone at 1-800.
Everything's always simple till you have to do it.
I'm Ira Plato. When El Nino's in the news here, it's usually a story about rain out of the west. But it's a global phenomenon.
That bass is so annoying on that radio. Turn it down, and it's still got the boom, 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 boom. You put a bloody subwoofer where the spare tire should go in the back. Driver's side back compartment. Huh. Time for a pair of pliers. Up and down they go. Slip joint pliers. I also noticed a couple things. One of my suspension bolts was loose. I was looking at it. I saw some rust around the nut. So I put a wrench on it. And lo and behold, suspension bolt's loose. Yeah, not loose, but loose enough.
Still a big challenge taking over from John Stewart, but
Things are going very, very well. I have to stop sometimes and go, 25 years ago, I was living in a very elevated hut with no running water or indoor sanitation. And so things are going great.
Noah was born in South Africa during apartheid. His father is white.
Weird.
His mother is black.
I'll work on it. Let you know how it's going. What else did I see was wrong? Oh, my Pitman arm. Off the steering box. Loose, loose, loose. Gotta work on it. Drain the brown oil. Maybe the torque converter has a drain plug too. There's a whole plug in the bell housing cover. A mini starter. I got one from the junkyard, but it's got the diagonal bolts. This one's straight across. Oh well.